I've been a bit distracted, but we can get back on track by doing a little astrology here. It already is the 20th of June. I apologize about some of the videos that go back and forth. I'm going through hell of a transformation, as I am humanity, and so we are kissing the Gemini sun goodbye at 29 degrees before it goes away from the Gemini um, placement. It's going to square Neptune, pardon me. And I'm going to edit this for sure. There's a lot of pollen in the air right now on this, and so the sun aspecting Neptune at 29 degrees tomorrow, right now, and then we just had the sneaky Uranus do that on the 17th. Very, very, very trippy time. I don't know if you had a trippy time that time. Yes, I had a very trippy time. I'll let you know in like 3 months what I gathered with that one. And then, so then at the same time, there was, yes, because Venus was conjunct Mercury, square Neptune. And it would definitely reflect that there was a spiritual something happening. If you have that very late degree at 29 degrees, particularly, yes, mutable sign, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Gemini. They are getting, if they have a late degree, at 29, see, so it's even going to spill over into the next sign, like, Cardinal. See, I'm looking forward to the happy-go-lucky Neptune on my ascendant. So anyway, getting back to how everybody in the world is experiencing this really spacey time. It's very auspicious for us all to, I hope that people get a chance to meditate and really calm down enough away from the illusion of, I was going to say the world, but it's really your mind. And what is the world but indeed a maze for people, their minds that are not managed, and it's just an escape. Otherwise, you have people up in the mountains kind of that know how to meditate and just kind of boil it down to meditation, and that means, essentially, meditation means kind of like a form of sleep or hypnosis. But it's a good thing because it's not the TV set hypnotizing you, or your neighbor, or whatever distracting you, right? The world, it's a good idea to try to do that for yourself, basically, to say it strangely. But yes, because what else is there to do but to do you? Not just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll every once in a while, but I have the metropolis to go to over here. Uh, where are you then? It's interesting. It's still there, but I hope you know that um, uh, wherever you go, there you are, right? And yeah, it's interesting to find that some people do take it on. They just put on their best shoes and take a walk because it's their mind that is running them. They technically do not know how to relax. I know you know about, but narcissists in general, um, I don't like to pick on people really, but it's impossible to feel them decompressing. I mean, serious decompression, like to the point where it's like, okay, you know, you kind of like just take it all off, and you're there, um, and but with them, it's like, is there anybody there? It's like it's like, well, of course they can't just, sit down and talk because there isn't anybody there to talk to. All right, So anyway, that's something, oh God, every sign could have their stigma narcissistically, right? You can go through the book of narcissism that says, well, how is a Pisces narcissist? Oh my God. You just talked about every sign packed in one sign, which is Pisces, who is the Jesus religious person. Very versatile, by the way. Really, they could be talk about the metropolis queen that is kind of like the model. They're very versatile, so they could be doing anything in life. Uh, but when we talk about the Piscean age, we're talking about the age of Christ Jesus. It points at the fish over there, fishy stuff going on, and uh, so we're kind of the 29 degrees, the very end degrees creates the effect of that sign Pisces, and it's just every bit of the oceanic flow of human evolution and all of consciousness. Like, were we able to grab the universe and graduate or not? Come on, Pisces, what's going on over there? And usually the Pisces of our world today is having they are cool. Talk about narcissists. You know what I mean? But all of them could have their stigma of narcissist that leans towards a certain way. But the Pisces is the classic passive aggressive, right? And also very yeah, martyr oriented and victim. Perfect. I'm telling you, I'm not lying by saying, you know what? Pisces is the. Why is it that the issue of narcissism, I mean, the subject matter of narcissism has come up so like the collective must know? Well, because. Jesus, can I tell them? Yes, tell them about the church full of fucking narcissists. Okay. Yes, that's what that story is. Just kidding. You want to kill Jesus over there, who was a narcissist, and what lands the church on top of her feet was the pure, founded people. Yes, they're organized with their heart. They know the truth. They've logged into reality. Gotta cut my nose off again lying. I don't know. This is the strangest segment. I'm glad to be getting it over. It's kind of squaring my Venus. It's like, okay, all right. I know for sure that I'm not enough. Having all that Gemini squaring my Venus. But really, the way that the Gemini Virgo square goes is, well, any forward square is what we're calling when we go forward from 1 to 12. The forward squares, I understand it, is we're going through the process of evolutionary um, expansion, and all we're going, whatever the human being has in store. See, there's the narcissistic side that's non-human, and then there is the um, expanded side, the human side that is, um, you know, you can look at it here. Is the same thing we're talking about is the negative side of each zodiac sign. So, but really, the evolutionary process is to head right into full spectrum view of all of that historical account, really all of it. See, that's what Pisces really does point at, is the karmic, oceanic vat of all of the signs. What has gone through, it's very much like water that starts out, I mean, earth is going on and it runs down. It's just the path of life, I guess you would call it, right? And it can be described as a river. First little drop, and then you can realize that you're in the river with everybody, and then you go into the ocean. It's like, well, where do the rivers go? And it's just an ocean. One thing happening. It's going around and around. I don't know, babes. Thank you for taking your LSD today. Massage your mind a little bit. So, but really, yeah, talk about tomorrow. See if you have a Neptune. The people that I know with Neptune square the sun, yes, we are looking at people who have a hard time with it. It's very cartoon land, as far as the spirituality, because Neptune points at heavy duty spirituality, and every medium that we use to express um, God. God needs something to express itself through, and pretty much every medium found, like what the artist uses, and everything really. If you see a message come through it, then that's most likely a medium, and that's what Neptune points at. That's why it's rules water that can just form um, with a rainbow through if it hits a certain way, the light, and that rainbow, all of the colors there. That's what we're using to see. That's what's making creation of creation, and it's kind of interesting because we are that way. We are starting out as that. We are that drop and the ocean at the same time. But see, it's important to know that the drop is that one individual mind that can um, indeed hallucinate that it's separate, but it doesn't matter if it's hallucinating or not. It's as long as it's breathing and the heart is functioning, there is a connection electrically, energetically. It's very much electrical. It's energy. You are in the money when, if you're watching this, and by the way, if you're clinging to life and watching this, well, I'm humbled. You should maybe put down social media every once in a while and tend to whatever it is that's taking your life at this time. But anyway, I mean, a lot of people are like that, really. I mean, especially everybody. It's an alarm across the globe. It's like, what are we going to do while these things zap us and slowly cook us up? Well, we can talk about heaven. We can just say, get down to the bottom of it and say, did you find it yet? That's what enlightenment really is. Heaven is just a word, and it's another word for now. Nobody has ever seen anything more or less than now, as far as that heaven thing is concerned. If you had a question, the answer is definitely in your question. But see, here's what I'll close this little ditty up because I have to shut the chickens down and shut the door and go and do some other chores. But the story, I'll end this with a little meditation, kind of more like destroy your mind to pieces story, but really it should the destruction of mind is quite the liberating thing. You want that to happen. With every breath you take, try to just get rid of it like it's a smoke. It's just like it's the narcissist. You do not want to become the secondhand smoke. So find time, whatever you have to do, go out into the wilderness and go like this, whatever it takes, but do it in the comfort of your own space, and don't get it on other people. Whatever you have to do, it doesn't have to be just this. You can do what I'm doing and just talk, so as to not do it in front of any other people in your immediate surroundings that certainly can't use it or do not appreciate it. I mean, it's almost like they're obligated to not like it. So I'm sure that somebody is going to like it, where I'm heading right now. Let's get back to it. Oh, can I get on a train here? Thanks for listening. I just lost 18 subscribers right there. I don't know. No, we're talking about this really auspicious time with the Sun and Neptune opposing. We've just gone through it. If you were able to spend any time alone, you had some kind of experience. I know I did. I was alone enough. I've meditated and been alone enough. Oh, it's a beautiful kind of sunset right now. Anyway, people, but the square, the sun square, it's actually not. You know, it's really a time when deception is having its way. It's getting its way. Just sheer bullshit is arising and dancing across the board. And this has apparently been happening for a week. And you know, there are people that are Neptune prominent in their chart. I do have a Neptune aspect. I have a Neptune trine my ascendant. It's actually involved with a grand trine, if you count the part of fortune. Um, and that's where but it's in Aries. It's kind of going towards Aries now. These conjunction, I'm trying to tell us all here as humanity, why is it so amazing? It's a very amazing spiritual time for people, and it's a spacey time. You know, it's a time that the artists are really needing to let us know what they came up with, but we're not going to be able to tell you until about 3 months from now or something because of the way that it is. It's hard to explain, but just it depends on what you're working on, right? But no, we're going to do this. Um, but has it happened? You know, will it happen? We're looking at this coming up here at the end of the month. We have turning the page here from June to August. I mean July and August, and we have Saturn and Neptune going backwards together, like immediately, and they're both in Pisces, and together they go backwards. I mean, it's first Saturn, and then a few days later, Neptune goes, and it's a time of stopping. Also, there's going to be a hell of a lot of clarity is going to come up with Neptune, the planet that goes forward. Whenever it goes forward, it's actually creating an illusory show. But when it starts to go backwards, at any time when it does, if you're aspected by it, then, and of course, all of humanity is going through an aspect, being aspected by it. There's a certain part of the organism that's experiencing this freaking vat of information that the religious value system, but really it's how that it's being conveyed, the TV sets, the way that those little specks of light create an image right there, and people really think it's going on, and particularly, yes, it needs to be backed by some gibberish words, awful, by the way, and um, because it's slurred together and crunched, and ooh, it's like, well, are we really going to imagine that much? If you haven't imagined enough, it's just deception on top of deception on top of deception, and I'm sure you people know it. A few of you, just a lot of people are 80% are confused about that information field. There's false information field, you know. The mind is definitely there's that meta thing going on, and uh, the collective. You know what can we do with this particular thing? We need to change it to a healing vibrational frequency. Get more people. Pardon me. There's most likely a big moth trying to get in. Get more people interested in completely spacing out. Having said that, there's something trying to get in. It's June, and I live next to a waterway where, I mean, every little bug that flies around, dragonflies and stuff, they're extra big near the creeks, and because we get plenty of water, and I love it. I really love this place up here. It's too bad that people are not as oriented to the intention of being with the wilderness. It should be ordained, and they should make laws. They should make people take care of it around here. Sorry. All right. Thanks for listening, people. Just try to talk about it. It's just not a time for structure when there's all these squares. Well, you can try it, but you see, it's better to just let go and let God at these times and get plenty of rest. It usually means that, like, see, a lot of people that don't know how to relax, it means you have to just go to sleep. You'll go to sleep. You'll process a lot out. I mean, God, it's a time of pure misunderstanding though. When it's a square with these Pisces and Gemini, man, wasn't that a time of deception coming through here and then see, this full moon here in Capricorn at 0 degrees. There's also another full moon at 29 degrees Capricorn, which speaks to, we'll talk about that later. It just speaks to the cycle of the entire 15 years that we've been through, and whatever has happened with that, it's just time to um, like give it one last um, look back before we kind of torch it and grab everything and go kind of a thing. Uh, as much as we would like to have done that, but yes, because here comes Pluto too. That it speaks to that Pluto movement that is going to be at 29 Capricorn at September. But last time out of the 14 years here is it's a wrap up, and whew, man, who knows what kind of crap is going to be. See, we're not going to see. Now, I was looking at Neptune going all the way back, and I'm wondering, do we experience? No, see, we don't. We don't experience another Sun square Neptune in Aries that I can see of. This is the last time we'll have this weird fucking shit. Pardon my language, but it's very cartoonish. I see something though. See, it doesn't have to understand the very nature of this reality. You're going to have to go cartoonish because of just the nature of it. And I was shown something over the past, 3 days or so with all of this, especially this Mercury that was um, it's square to Neptune in the sky, but Mercury was trining my planets, and I saw something, I experienced something that was very remarkable, and I'll be able to explain it if I can just remember what is going on. See, I've been pretty much doing what shamans would do, or anybody else that meditates, is just to be able to penetrate into subject matter deeper when you do that. That's all. You can ask any question or something like that. But see, it's just been an accident for me that I've been doing things all my life that has, it's not a big deal, really. It's like, I'm sure there's somebody better than me, okay? No, that's not the point, really. We are to come together and do something with this. Here, social media is to help us fit keys. Now, if as long as there's the financial institution and part where people are doing that, they just want to make money, right? On See, they couldn't do it with enlightenment. Not as good as they could sex, which is like, oh my God, why did you say that? Well, because sex is a lot like enlightenment, except for sex is more appealing to the lower vibrational frequency freaks. So it sells easier, right? But it's like enlightenment that it was a gnat. It's like enlightenment that you cannot walk the walk. You cannot talk the talk unless you've actually walked the walk. And so, with enlightenment, there's a certain quality of communication that you can hear that reminds a person's heart that of something that they might have forgotten. See, and so it's the same when you have when well, now when you're making love instead of just having sex, or even just any kind of connection at all with anything, right? How are you going to be able to talk about it unless you've had the experience? And in a certain way, like a certain thing where now particularly this is just for men, I guess, but no, it's for women too. I don't know. I don't think fucking men even care. They're so differently made up. So that's why I was gonna say, just advice for you men. Pay attention first of all, and then talk about what you've paid attention to. That's how you get a woman to perk her ears up, man. Because you could say something that's not really full of your experiences. It's just a backhanded whatever, like a joke. God, why am I talking about this? Anything goes with this Neptune aspects. Do not expect. We are going through such a diarrhea of a fucking time, and you know, with Neptune on the precipice of. I'm going to be talking about it. Everybody should be talking about it. It's Neptune on the precipice of going into Aries. By this time next year, it will be at 1 degree Aries. It's just priming us. And see, now it went to 29 degrees. It's never been to 29 degrees. Now we're going to have it go backwards by next month. It's going to start going backwards. And it's going to take another month because it moves really slow to get back to 28 degrees, blah, blah, blah. And during this time, babes, please, I advise you to take up meditation if you are doing it accidentally or something. It's not an accident. You are going to see something more clearly, but you have to ditch the mind and go. And so meditation is to get into a form of sleeping that doesn't cater to the mind. It just dials into joy and love. And unfortunately or fortunately, you have to find a daily practice for that. That is just, it could be complete nonsense, really. And I didn't mean it like that, really. It's like, well, do you cook? Well, really get into it. Make something with leftovers and find out, get on YouTube and just see, it's just making something of your own to where, but no, I'm not talking about focusing. No, I'm not talking about focusing on any one thing. Just becoming more purely aware to let something come in. Because that's what's going to be taking place more and more. With Neptune going into a whole other zodiacal shift, uh, it's it's a prism, it's going to be happening for people like this, and everybody's going to eventually going to be there when it hits 6 degrees Neptune in Aries, and there is going to be it's not a good thing. I mean, compared to being in Pisces when Neptune goes into Aries. Pardon me while I just rest my eyes. Should get some sleep now. Um, it's a vigorous time for the spirit, and the spirit is going to rise up. There's a lot of people that don't know that there is spirit and that there is a sacred part of everything, especially you. and this earth. And I'll say you again because we are intrinsically one with the universe if you're a human being. Human. Human. We are, in this lifetime here, we're going to experience something that is going to be a spiritual awakening, but it doesn't come without seeing the most drab part. That's where you're just going to have to say, you know what, I think I can make enough choices that will say, that expands and doesn't sound like it's condemning just that thing which it doesn't understand. And that includes itself, right? But what I'm talking about is people that don't, I don't want to say believe in God. I would say just be with them. So, but how do we talk to them about it? I was going to tell you a story about now. Now is God. There isn't anything else but God. And so, how do we know? Well, the master, the guru is there, sitting there. Everybody misunderstands the master. Is just there's nothing to do, nothing to say. What's the big fucking worry, man? I mean, have you got your food together? Did you get the clean water going? Okay. How's your shelter? All right. Can you love each other and take care of each other? I mean, how hard is it? But it gets pretty hard, doesn't it? We're talking about historically, we can see these people are being faded out. What people? Just human beings. Anyway, let's get back to the story. People want to know. The more or less human they get. Master, is there life after death? I am worried. Master, is there life after death? And the master says pretty stoutly and responsively, you tell me, have you ever seen life after now? Nobody has ever seen it yet. I don't care what you have